Welcome to the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, the podcast dedicated to commercial food and culinary industry. My name is Pat Finland. I'm joined by my co-hosts Jason Latimer and Rich Ortega. Our goal is to shine a light on what we believe to be one of the most interesting and rewarding industries a field service technician can work in. We love the work we do, and we are glad you're here listening to this podcast. In this episode, we have a roundtable discussion and invite viewers into our live stream. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. And tonight, we're going to try something different. We're going to open the comment section up. We're going to put a link out there. You can click on the link, and you can join the show. You can be this fourth little window down here next to Rich. You can have your question on here, and we can go about it that way. So I encourage anybody, if you want to get on, I'm going to put the link out here. You can either copy and paste it. I'm going to let you in the green room, and then we'll let you in the room, but it's no big deal. So with that being said, what do you got to say about that, Rich?
First, I want to say what's up to everybody and, let y'all know we appreciate y'all coming in, hanging out with us every week. We know there's a ton of people putting content out there and y'all got a lot of stuff to do. Y'all don't have to be here with us. So with that, we wanted to open this up to first and foremost, the people that are regularly with us. So Quentin, I see you out there in the chat right now. I'm sure Blogger's going to be out there and some of the other guys. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop the link in the chat. Is that correct, Pat?
Yep, I'm going to put it out there now.
But yeah, so everybody who's here as a regular, if you want to jump in, click the link and we'll invite you in. We can chit chat a little bit. If you have any questions for us, throw them out there. We'll do the best to answer them or just kind of, shoot the breeze for a little bit. And then as we go on, anybody else who wants to jump in, we'll work that out as the show goes along. But we definitely want to interact with some of y'all that have shown us love, week after week, month after month.
Look at that, man. Gary Sherman's in the house. What's going on, buddy? You better get back to work. I heard you got some work to do down there this weekend, so you better get back at it, man. He's got a little cabin in the woods, and he's got some projects to do for the wife. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous, man. So what's everybody been up to? Weather's kind of cooling off here. I shouldn't talk about weather. Poor Jason's down there. Did it rain all day today?
It did not enough for me to stay home. I had to get back out there and work. We had Tuesday. We took Tuesday a half day and whatnot, and just got things prepped and stuff like that. I picked up some extra generators for the office because we, aside from the service company, we have all these different departments. But another thing we also do that we've started in the last several months is that we bought full size freezer refrigeration trailers. So we have several on the property and we use them as backups if we can't get a freezer going to hold the customer over. We rent them out in cases of emergency. But we're the only service company that does that. We have full size, like we can hold the whole walk-in from a Mickey D's, everything in it.
That's great.
So anyways, but what I was getting at is that I picked up some generators because it takes 115 volts. You can plug it in at any restaurant and whatnot. But we wanted, if they're calling us during a storm, obviously there's no power. So we picked up a few generators from Granger. So we'd have something, to make sure foolproof that we'd save their food despite whatever's going on with this climate and whatnot. And aside from that, we had Wednesday off. A blessing because it doesn't take much for the lights to go out here where I'm at, like a good thunderstorm, and it flickered once. I was amazed. But we definitely in the Tampa Bay area dodged the bullet with it going more north. And, it's got to go somewhere, unfortunately, and it didn't hit us right on. We did get a storm surge after the fact because of the intensity of the counterclockwise motion pushing water up into the bay. So if it was much closer, like maybe another 80, 100 miles, it would have been a lot worse. But we did have a record storm surge in a lot of the A areas, the zone A's, which is along the water and stuff like that. But for the most part, thank God, the house is fine. Family's good. I had a tech up north. He lost his power. He's got his going back on. We got a lot of northern Jacksonville techs, and the blessing is everybody's accounted for. Everyone's good. Stuff can be replaced. People can't. And it worked its way into Georgia and the Carolinas, I believe. But that's all that's been going on this week. It's been exciting.
Nice. I've just been working. Had some long days, Monday, Tuesday. Had a shorter day yesterday and back in a long day today. It's been some crazy stuff. I mean, we're down text. I mean, I hate to harp on it, but just trying to pick up the slack, trying to cover what's needed for the market, the industry, and just do my best. So the weather's cooled down, so the walk-ins are going to work a lot easier, and HVAC is going to work a lot easier. So it's time to start playing catch up before it gets cold.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that. What's up, Rich?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it to cool down. Man, I took yesterday off. I told y'all I was supposed to do that overnight research on Tuesday night, and I mean that ended up being a mess. It was me and another guy that were supposed to do it. The other guy, I guess, slept through his alarm, so when 12:30 came, he wasn't there. He had the parts. I knocked on the door to try to explain to the manager what was going on. They wouldn't open the door, and I'm like, I'm going back home. Bump this crap. But by the time I got back home, it was like 1 a.m. By the time I unwinded, it was like 2 a.m. before I fell asleep. So when it was like 5 a.m. and my alarm clock went off, I got up, went in my van, and sent an email, said I won't be in today. So took yesterday off, but today spent most of the day doing a compressor on a walk-in cooler at one of the local jails. Aside from that, I don't know. It's kind of, it seems like it's slowed down here. I haven't had anything, impressive going on. That's also why my content's kind of slowed down. I'm like, I've really got nothing to post right now. I don't have a whole lot going on. And
I wish I did a lot more refrigeration like you do. Unfortunately, I do some, but it's mostly like the bigger stuff. I mean, we don't do a whole lot of it. So my refrigeration content kind of sucks. Like we got a guy that does he's a Delfield tech. He's a Delfield and Silver King tech, so he gets most of the small reach and stuff, which I'm not really complaining too much because nothing like climbing my big ass inside a reach in drawer cooler to braze the outlet side of a TXV because every last one of them leaks. So that kind of stuff. But yeah, I seen you had your little you had a bench out there, you had a canopy set up.
It was we took the canopy. We took the canopy from the shop, which I never do because I'm not hauling that canopy on the roof, but it was ground level. And then we set up the canopy, and then they just had like a welded frame that was behind all the units, which was like a bench. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And then on top of that, I let my trainee do all the work while I watched him, which sounds cool, but for a person like me, it drives me nuts. And he did a good job, but I just can't keep my mind focused on watching him do the work for all the time that we're sitting there doing that work. But overall, it was still pretty chill.
Yeah, so I think they offered my son's friend a job, so we're going to have like another 20, 21-year-old coming on board, and he lives close, so I'll be taking him under my wing. I told them, I was like, hey, if we're going to do this, you need to start giving me some millivolt fryers and stuff so I can beat this into this kid's head. I was like, I know it sucks sending me out on millivolt fryers and basic stuff. I said, we're going to do this right. If we're taking these kids, we're giving them an opportunity to learn this industry, let's make it worth it and let's make them want to stay here. And that's just
see, and that's similar to what I'm trying to do with anybody I train, because I do a fair amount of training. I'm trying to get them to be like, look, I know it's a pain, but maybe all the small reach-in calls that come in, send me to them with my trainee so we can go at least a week straight over basic refrigeration, basic troubleshooting. Then let's go, like you said, to like millivolt fryers and grills and stuff that aren't that complicated, so we can at least get them fundamentals down so they can hit the ground running. What happens with me a lot, because they'll put me on, and I'm sure they do that with y'all, like the stuff that nobody else figured out or the stuff they know is going to be a headache, they put me on that, and I'm like, that's cool, I love doing that, but then I can't train a guy that has very little knowledge of what we do on how to do this stuff because I'm figuring this thing out as I'm going along with it.
Yeah, see, we're a small branch in Indy, we don't have a PM department and stuff like that, and that's the good thing about like Casper's, they're a big company, they got a PM department, so they can start guys there and work them up, we got the Unlimited Service University thing coming up, and it's off the ground, there's been some classes coming through it, and it's going to be a great opportunity for the younger guys who want to learn and have no experience, but, if you're in a market where you do a lot of PMs, it's a great place for the guys to learn too, and, but I look forward to it. I mean, I love seeing 19, 20-year-old guys, 20-year-old kids getting into it. I mean, I call them kids because my kids are that age, but I love seeing them coming into it and being hungry to learn. I mean, it reminds me of me, I started at like 26, but it reminds me of me when I started.
So you guys,
my trainee's 39, so great guy.
Did you go to HVAC school? He's got an EPA. What's the, you guys just take them without EPAs or HVAC
So
school or?
we'll take them. Our branch is not supposed to per se because we're supposed to be dual techs. But yeah, we've taken guys without EPAs. My trainee now, he's got his EPA. He used to work for Cumberland Farms doing their maintenance and stuff. So he's got knowledge on ice machines and some refrigeration stuff. But I mean, at this point, it's like we'll take almost anybody. If you're willing to do the work and show up and willing to learn, we'll take you, and then we'll do the best we can to make you ready. But the way the branch is set up, we're supposed to all be dual tech. So you're supposed to have your EPA. We still got a couple guys that don't, but that's between them and my boss.
I prefer to have a dual tech, but I mean, in situations, sometimes we got to do what we got to do. But like my son didn't have his EPA. I think he's taking his EPA test tonight. This kid has no experience in anything. I mean, he's done some stuff at the factory. That's about it. So, we'll put him we put him through SkillCat. My son did SkillCat. He did the EPA through that.
Yeah. I was just going to say too, you mentioned SkillCat. I wanted to give a shout out to Jennifer and SkillCat. We had one guy there who he started out as a PM tech. He got put in as a tech trainee. He wasn't getting his EPA. And this actually started because he really pissed me off. He made the comment that he wasn't getting his EPA because he didn't want to be on call. So I was like, oh, I'm done with this. So I got with Jen and I'm like, yo, Jen, can you make me, can you tell me how it works getting your EPA through SkillCat? She made a video on how to do it. I sent the video through all the techs in our branch. Like a week later, dude's like, guess what? I got my EPA. I was like,
can you get me that? Good. Can you get me that video? Forward it to me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I coincidentally just found out that my one of my newer PM techs that lives in the Jacksonville market, he got his EPA from SkillCat. He mentioned that to me. I was like, oh,
and it's free too. It's free and at their own pace.
Check this out. So everything HVACR, guys that are manufacturing plant interviews with SkillCat. Yeah, SkillCat's pretty cool. That's how I found Jennifer on TikTok, about a year ago before she started, branching over everywhere else, and was a SkillCat. She did a great job, and then I think the budget or whatever kind of just dwindled off a little bit, but I'm glad to see they're out there still doing stuff. It's a great program. My son, he learned a lot. We'll see if he passes. I'm sure he will, but I need to message.
I want to check that out and go through it myself if I'm able to, despite having an EPA.
I want to throw this out there real quick. I know Quentin Webb is out there in the chat. Quentin, click that link, bro. Join in. Come on, man. You're here every week. We want to meet you.
I'll send it to him directly.
I haven't spoken to Quentin. Yeah.
I'll send it to him on Facebook Messenger, see if he checks it. So, but anything else you guys been up to this week, or just pretty easy then, besides this weather, I guess?
Just been easy, man. And our weather's toning down.
Like yeah. Yeah, there was. I think it has to do with the weather. The nights have been a little cooler. I'm like, whoa, this is a good sign.
Yeah, it is.
My wife and I have a conversation about moving up north all the time, and it's like, oh, our family's here. We like the beaches. We like the cotton candy clouds and sky after the rain, and it's that Jimmy Buffett lifestyle that I like. But that weather up north, man. What I'd love to just snowbird if I had it like that.
Yeah, only thing I miss about Florida is the beach. I mean, and kind of the weather in a sense, not when it's brutally hot, but that nice, that it's gonna always be beach weather more or less. Yeah, I kind of miss that, but like being out of there, especially from Central Florida to where I'm at now, it's such a laid back lifestyle and everything's so much more chill. And I'm like, I love it here. Would I go back to Florida? Not in the state that it's in. No, not being overcrowded and overpriced. No, but yeah, you do miss the beach though.
So we get our first victim. It's Quentin. I'm gonna bring him in just a second. Yeah, Gary, I'll stop by next time I see you in the office. We can talk about it. So let's bring Quentin on. What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can
hear
you.
Sir. What's up, bro? Hey, Quentin.
Good.
Finally.
I'll jump in. I'm not afraid.
Good to meet you, bro.
Likewise.
So where are you from, Quentin? What area are you in?
I'm in Roanoke, Virginia.
Okay. Southeast. How's the weather out there? Is you guys getting rain or anything from the storm coming through, or?
Nah, it was beautiful today. It was 75 degrees and blue sky for once. It's been hot as hell lately.
Mild here too. It's been a welcome relief. I think yesterday was only like 72, and I think today maybe got like upper 70s, and I'll take that. I'm like a 78, 80 guy. no humidity, that'd be perfect. You know, fat guys don't like humidity.
Yeah, I know what that feels like. Yeah.
So, Quentin, you are an actual business owner, correct? Is it a family business, or is it you?
Yeah, it's family. It's me and mom and dad.
Sweet. How long have
So
you guys been in business?
they, well, a little bit of a backstory. So my dad started working at this company in 1973, and my mom went to work there not long after that, and they worked there until 1994, and they actually bought the Roanoke branch because we used to be in Richmond and Norfolk, and the man that owned the company died in '92, and then his widow brought in a management company to run it, and they embezzled quite a bit of money from the company. So she decided to close it down, and then my mom and dad made her an offer and bought the building and the business, and they've been running it ever since. And now I'm part of the decision making process too, after working there for 25 years.
Sweet, sweet. So I've noticed you on Facebook in the groups for a couple of years now, and then once I started this, I started adding some more people in the industry. And you know, I like what you're doing. You're always out there working. You're always out there getting it, looking for alternative methods and parts sources and stuff like that. You know, when you can't find something, so you know, you're always a wealth of information. You seem like you really know what's going on, man. I appreciate all your input and your support.
Yeah, it's I mean, after you do this for this long, you start figuring out tricks,
How long have
ways
you
to
actually,
make life easier.
how long have you actually been in the field working?
Since 1999.
Oh, nice.
And on the books. Let me rephrase that. So I've been riding around with my dad doing calls since I was 4, but that doesn't count. So I actually have a service ticket in a scrapbook from 1986 where we worked on a Blakesley dishwasher, and he stuck my name on the ticket.
That's awesome, man. You know, my son works with me. And it's really cool. He gets a little. People think he has it easier because I'm his dad, and he really has it worse. The only thing he gets is he's not scared to call me for help. You know, and some of the other guys are intimidated to call me because I'm not their dad. But he calls me, and then like I'll get mad at him over something stupid, and I'll yell at him, and he'll just hang up. And then everyone else, how's the next conversation go? I was like, oh, like it never happened. I was like, you gotta think, I've been yelling at him for the last 20 plus years. He's over it by now. He's used to it. Just one together, so he takes it pretty well. Now he just hangs up on me and calls me back later when he needs something else.
No kidding. That's funny because my dad he retired 10 years ago. Retired. He's still working, and sometimes he calls me for stuff. Especially new things because he's old school. So all the computer crap you got to deal with, he doesn't compute. So he'll call for help on that, and then I'll run into stuff sometimes where I just need a second opinion on it, and bring him in and we'll figure it out. But man, training, when y'all talking about training, that gets me right there because I got a guy I'm training now, and it's tricky. It's nothing like I thought it would be. It really isn't. And
I like to remind the guys, like, you know, the guys we have riding with the new techs we're riding with, they've been doing this for like 30 plus years, and I they're like, oh, when I did this, I had 4 or 5 weeks, and I was out fixing stuff. I'm like, look, man, it's like, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, I was like, nothing had a computer.
yeah.
Everything was the same when we started 17 years ago.
Yep.
Everything was the same. If you worked on one cooler, you could fix any cooler. If you worked on one oven, you could fix any oven.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore. And even I have to explain that to customers sometimes because they're like, "Oh, why are you looking at a manual? Why are you looking at a video?" And I'm like, "Well, because out of all the ovens I work on, all they've got in common is stainless steel, and they get hot. That's it."
Yeah, it's amazing how far we've come. But then, like you said, all the manufacturers just kind of like went crazy, and everything's proprietary. Everyone has their own little secret sauce, and it's just like, yeah, they all have this, but they all do it a different way. It's just wild.
Yeah.
Quentin, I got to ask you. This is going to be a silly question. I'm looking in the background there. Is that a Jem'Hadar clone from the Dominion
Wayoon,
photo?
That's Wayne from
Deep Space Nine.
DS9. Yeah.
Oh God.
That's
I'm like, God, it looks like he's got a photo of a freaking clone from DS9 back there. But
that's
I'm a nerd.
That's Jeffrey Combs. I met him at a Comic-Con and talked to him for about 15 minutes. He was really cool.
All right, so those other photos are you taking photos with other stars from Star Trek
Uh,
at Comic Cons?
Some of them, yeah. The one below that is I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she played Tariel in The Hobbit, so she was the elf chick, and she was really nice. Who else have I got?
You got a special place in my heart, Quinn, already.
I've got Ashley Eckstein from Star Wars that did Ahsoka's voice in Rebels. I got to take a picture with her. She was really cool. Do you watch that? Have you ever seen Rebels?
No, I haven't seen Rebels. I'm about to start watching it. I was just going through the whole chronological order on there, and it showed Rebels and because I'm only interested because of the new Ahsoka. So I'm like, all right, let me see where she is shown in here, and I see it's in Rebels. But I see there's 2 Rebels.
It wasn't just Rebels. It was Clone Wars. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was Clone Wars. There's a cartoon series that Ahsoka was in, but it's funny because Anakin called her Snips. That was his nickname. So as soon as I saw her in the photo booth thing, I went, "Hey, Snips." She said, "Hey, Sky Guy."
Okay. Nice connection.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah. So,
Cool.
yeah, but the training stuff, man, it's the guy I've got's pretty green. I mean, it's been a lot of patience. I let him carry my bag for a couple of weeks. And then I'm like, dude, you can't carry my bag anymore. He said, why not? I said, it's like you're carrying my wallet. I just can't do it.
I hate
You tell them how you really feel.
Yeah.
I hate trainees working on my back because they don't put anything back where it is. I'm like, I go like, I'll say I have a trainee all day and I go run an overtime call and I'm like digging for my bag. I'm like, where is this? I'm like, tools don't go on this side. This side's for meters and sockets. Why are my wire strippers over here? I'm like, no.
My trainee brings his own bag. I rarely bring my bag in. I'm like, dude, grab your bag and I'm gonna use your stuff and I'm gonna mess up your bag. And my trainee's in the comments there, so he can attest to that. I'm like, I just threw stuff back in your bag, bro.
Oh, I got a funny story about that. So we took off to go work on some Blodgett pizza ovens up the road one day and loaded all the stuff up, rode up there, met the guy. The guy had to meet us because we were closed on a Monday. So he opened the store. We get there and I look in the truck and I said, where's my bag at? And left the damn thing at the office, had it out in the shop working on shit, forgot to put it back in the truck. We drive an hour and a half up the road, got no tools, so I had to go to Lowe's. I said, let's buy you some tools now, I guess. So
I've left my tools at customer places and pulled up to another place, and I'm like, my bag, dang it.
Oh God, yeah, it sucks.
Dude,
I left digital gauges like 3 cities back. I'm like, oh God.
Dude, I will pull over on the highway and like get out and check, and I'll be all freaked out that I got my bag.
I do that all the time too,
Yeah,
bro. I'll do that all the time. Pull into a parking lot or the shoulder and be like, "Crap, did I leave my bag over there?" Yeah.
Well, dude, I've got that stupid. Cropinator. We have a 5th joining in. Let's see if he'll let him join in. Oh, it's small, but he's here. What's going on, man?
Can you see me all right?
Yeah, we can see it. So I've got that big Vito XL wheeler, the big giant thing. It is jam packed. It's probably got. I'd hate to see how much money's in there. And if I left that thing behind, my wife would be pissed. If the bag alone was like $400, and you add in the SD680.
How do you do that? I try to carry the smallest bag possible.
It's on
and
wheels.
Have everything in it. I can actually carry, if you know, like the Vito MB2 meter bag.
Yeah.
I can do 80% of my calls out of that. I do carry a TPXL just because I like to have some wrenches and stuff that I don't need them regularly, but I don't want to have to run out of, to the truck when I need them. But I've seen, I'm sure, videos of your bag, and I'm like, how in the world does this guy tote that bag around all day? I would lose it, bro. I would not be able to do that.
It's on wheels. It's pretty cool, but it's getting annoying with my elbow being jacked up. Trying to get in and out of the van. it's taking its toll on me. So I've been looking at getting something a little smaller. And my son rocks the TPXXL.
Yeah, see, I have an XXL also. That was my first Vito, but it's easy to overstuff that bag for me. That's why I got the XL.
Yeah. So my son uses the XXL. I bought it for him at AHR. So if you go to AHR, you want to deal on Vito, bring cash, dude, and they will sell them at the door, cash or a lower price. I probably shouldn't say this, but
Ooh, I'll have to bring a bonus with me, bonus check.
yeah.
Let's answer this question here for Gary.
So Gary,
Speaking of,
go ahead. Go ahead, you got it. My bad.
Speaking of tools, what should we provide versus what you want to pick? So yeah, I might not understand what he's saying. What should the company provide versus what the technician should provide?
Yep. So
Same thing.
Sherman is, I think, vice president of field operations for a limited service group. So he's me and Rich's boss, and he's really cool. He hired me 12 and a half years ago. He was
Hi, Gary.
He was in Apple Springs.
Hey, boss.
Hey.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, we're actually revamping the tool list right now in the tech council we have going on. We have a meeting next week, and we're trying to weed some of the stuff out that's not needed, some of the stuff that's duplicates. Like they were issuing 2 meters, they were issuing a Fluke, and then they were issuing a UEI Phoenix. I'm like, look, you can use a field piece SC680 and you can do everything, including
everything. Yeah,
I was just gonna say that. Yeah,
That's
narrow
lick,
down the
though.
meters to
That's a
one
lick.
field piece.
Yep,
would
that's
be
what-
amazing, because I use my own field piece because I got I don't know that they gave me a UEI, but I don't like UEI anyway, but they gave me a Fluke, and then I think the other one, I can't remember what the other one is, because like I said, I don't use it. I have a bunch of the tools that Whaley gave me in a tote in my garage. So if I ever have to turn them back in, I know where they are. But most of the stuff we got, I don't like.
No.
If you want to know what to provide, field piece infrared leak detectors. For the love of God, give me a field piece infrared.
Everyone
leak
needs
detector.
that. Yeah.
Because I've been using mine. The leak detector I got from Whaley, I think it's an Inficon. I don't know if I'm
the
supposed to
gray
say this
one?
or not, but it's garbage.
No,
So
you-
I've been using my personal field piece for the past
Each
2
their
years
own.
I've been at Whaley. So get us a bunch of those, please.
And
That-
micron gauges.
Oh my God, upgrade the micron gauges. I've been using my personal micron gauge too, because we got these Subco micron gauges and they're a nightmare. I mean, I could go through, we might have to talk one-on-one if you want to know what tools y'all should really be providing us, because we need field piece or testo probes. Get rid of these old school gauges that we got. There's a lot that we need updated in our tool
we could have a whole
that are
conversation.
provided.
But
So
what
who's the chronicator? I've not met this gentleman before.
Crocinator?
I want to introduce him.
The
I'm assuming
Crocinator,
that's Brian.
it's Mr. Sanders.
Brian.
Oh, this is
Sanders.
Brian Sanders. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's the first time I'm seeing him. So I
So
talked
what's
to
up,
him.
bro?
I just haven't
I'm
seen
glad.
him.
I'm glad
Okay.
you joined us, man. How's it going?
Yeah.
Because I love the fact that you watched me and Pat and our content, and that got you to make a pretty significant career move. I know me and you talked a little bit when you were thinking about it, and I kind of told you what I like about it, why I think you should do it. So, dude, fill us in on how's that been going, what you've been learning, all that good stuff, dude. Fill us in on that.
Real well. Of course, I learn every single day. But I've been, I rode, well, I didn't ride with him. I have my own van, of course, but I was with a trainer for a couple of weeks, and then roof monkey for a while doing PMs, which there's nothing wrong with that. I kind of get to know the equipment, and I've been off for 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. Doing everything. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Let me cut you off. So did Brett ever talk? Did you do CO2 when you worked at Coke?
It was kind of, they went to CO2, and then they kind of got away with it because it runs such higher pressures than 134A. Really what they were going to was the hydrocarbon. R290s were starting to go big, which is fine because a lot of the true reach-in coolers and freezers that I deal with now are R290. So I'm an old pro. Like out of my branch, I was the first one to do an R290 compressor change out. Everybody's freaking out about it. I'm like, no, nitrogen's your best friend.
100%.
Purge, dude. I set up when I do this Festa training for refrigeration. I do like a 4-hour piece on R290, like the tools, like proper, like, you know, if you're under a hood, vent it into the hood. If you're like in a Starbucks, get you a 50-foot hose and vent it outside. And once you get it vented outside, hook up your nitrogen regulator, put it on purge, and let it go for like 5 minutes. That's what I do. I just let it go in 5 minutes. I go use the restroom. I go out to the van, look busy, you know, 5 minutes, come back and use your gas leak detector and look for a leak. And if it doesn't pick it up, you're good to go. I mean, I've got videos of guys just like, oh, they dump it and then they think they can start torching off a filter dryer. I'm like, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Yeah, keep nitrogen running through it, and you got nothing to worry about. What people don't realize, you know, propane and any gas that's flammable, but propane for this purpose, it has to have a certain ratio of gas to air to even be able to ignite. So if you've got nitrogen flowing through it, you're disrupting that ratio of gas to air anyway, and it's not going to cause a problem. I've seen so many people freak out. When I was in Central Florida, the company I was working for, I got R290 certified early on, even though you don't technically need to be, but True offered that training. I had so much overtime because other companies in the area were refusing to work on R290 because their techs were scared of it. And I'm like, I'll work on it. I'm like, dude, my acetylene tank is more dangerous than a unit with R290 in it. And we were picking up warranty work from so many manufacturers just because nobody else would do it. And I'm like, dude, most of the time I'll roll a unit to the back door, I'll vent it out there, and then I'll just blow a bunch of nitrogen through it. You're good to go. I'll take my leak detector and I'll leave it on the whole time I'm working on it just for safety. And that's about it, but there's nothing to it. And I like R290. I know a lot of people hate on it, but from what I've seen, it's a very efficient refrigerant. I mean, the systems are a fraction of the size of 134A and 404 systems, and they seem to cool a lot faster and a lot more efficiently. So I'm a fan of R290 and R600A. I mean, I'll work on them all day long if I can.
Yeah, me too.
So
the main thing with 290 is two things. Number one is the nitrogen, making sure you're purged. Number two is I just got one, and it makes my life so much easier, is the hydrocarbon scale.
Yes.
Where you screw on the scale?
Yeah,
those are great.
It screws on the scale. I just did a 3-door reach in. I think it called for 5 ounces R290. You don't have to lug around the heaviest thing you're lugging around is either your tool bag or your nitrogen tank. I mean, you're using the little canisters of R290, 5 ounces, boom, you're good to go. And one thing a lot of guys make the mistake is they use regular hoses with it. Well, with their systems being so critically charged, a regular hose could hold an extra ounce and a half maybe of refrigerant. And so I don't even use my hoses. I use a high carbon scale, and then I've got a little low side and high side stubbies that I put on. And that way you let of letting any of that charge out, because you put an ounce an ounce lower than what it calls for, and then the next day you're getting a call back because it's freezing over at the evaporator and stuff. Critically charged, just and be aware of your surroundings.
That half an ounce.
Oh yeah,
half an ounce will R290 system is critical, man. I mean, I've worked on under counters where it's like 2.3 ounces. I'm like, holy smokes, man! Like,
yeah.
I fart more than 2.3 ounces. I mean,
see, for me, like how you said with the stubbies, dude. So because I really got my, I cut my teeth on small reach-in, under counter, prep coolers, all that kind of stuff. I learned early on about critical charges, and obviously a 134A critical charge is nowhere near an R290 critical charge. So I just got in the habit of using stubbies, period. So Ice Machine stubbies, R290 stubbies, regular reach-in stubbies, walk-in stubbies. And when you think about it, either stubbies or probes, it makes the most sense because no matter what you're working on, you're always losing a little bit of charge every time you connect those big hoses to it. So to me, it doesn't even make sense anymore to use the traditional manifold, at least in the bulk of the stuff that we're working on being in restaurants.
I'd never use them, man. The only time I really use them is on reclaiming system. That's about it. And it just is what it is. It's the new technology is amazing. Things are out there. So, Quentin, do you do refrigeration or are you hot side only?
No, I just started doing refrigeration a couple months ago, actually. So
That's what I thought.
Oh,
So-
cool.
He hasn't made it to the point where he hates life yet. He'll get there.
I don't know.
Dude, the
Getting
key
there.
to refrigeration is patience. If you don't have it, make yourself be patient.
Oh, dude.
Aside from that, it's easy in my book. But again, I've been doing it forever. But I love refrigeration. Like, I like hot side, but I love refrigeration, and I love ice machines.
Look who snuck in here.
Mhm.
Jesus.
Jesus. What's
What up,
bud?
Jesus?
Oh.
See, that's my boy over
His
there too.
microphone's muted.
Oh, he's got his headphones on. I don't hear him. He's
We
muted.
can't hear you, bro.
Can you unmute it for him?
No, I don't know if it's his. Let me see if it's a setting.
It says his
Oh, there you
mic's off.
Hello? Oh, no, because they chose to mute. You're muted yourself. So figure out how to unmute yourself. It won't let me do it because you chose
Okay.
to mute.
There you
There
go.
Hey,
There you go.
There you go.
What's up, buddy?
Listen, I saw Q, I saw Jason, I saw Rich, I saw you. I have to join in, man. And Crocinator, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, bro. What's up?
what's up? How'd the storm go for you?
Good, man. Good. I was just reading on some work blueprints and stuff like that that I have to do for next week.
Nice, nice. Yeah, you're a busy dude, man. I see you doing all kinds of stuff, hanging hoods, installing equipment, repairing equipment. It's good to
Saving
be,
the Beyonce concert.
yeah, it's good to be
Yeah.
right now.
This
I
guy.
saw that video.
That's great. That's great. So,
What's up, bro? What's new with you, Jesus?
I gotta buy one of his shirts just so I can get into the stadium.
Not much. It's just been busy. I'm just blessed to be able to do the things that we do and work with the people that we're working with. I got a great crew, building a great crew. I got them pretty much training up and going through a lot of stuff. Some of these projects have pushed them to keep them learning and re-educating themselves.
that's good. If you got guys that want to learn on their own, those are the guys you want to keep around for sure. So,
100%.
Randy Laz asked, "Does anyone know where to find an R290 Cat 2 sizing chart?" And I do not know. I will admit, when it comes to R290, I generally only do what the manufacturer tells me, even out of warranty, just because there is that potential hazard. And it's easier to put it back to OEM standards that are UL certified. That way, it's taken out of our hands.
Yeah, I'm not one of those OEM is better all the time guys, but when it comes to R290, especially with a cap tube or if there's an expansion valve or anything, I'm 100% going OEM, and that's because you're only allowed to put X amount in the system and all that, and there is, if you do it wrong, the potential for some type of hazard. So yeah, if you're going R290 or R600A, just go back OEM. I think that's a lot better route in that situation. 134, 404, I use the Subco sizing charts, and I'm good to go every time. But now when it's flammable, at least for the time being, until we get more, aftermarket stuff and more information out there, I say go OEM.
Yeah, I can't imagine that you can't there's only so many brands and models that have that you can't find the charts from the manufacturer, even if it's out of warranty.
Yeah, it's going to start getting more popular. But if you call a manufacturer and tell them, "Hey, I got a cap tube restriction. I'm gonna replace it. What size is it?" Most of them will tell you, "Oh, it's this diameter, this length." I mean, most of them aren't gonna say, "No, that's proprietary. We're not gonna do that." They're not gonna do that. I mean, because they could do that with a 134 cap tube or anything else. I mean, any manufacturer you call and you ask them, they're going to tell you what it is. They'd rather have that piece of equipment running, because if that piece of equipment's not running and they're not giving someone support to get that thing running, it makes them look bad. I mean, so I bet they tell you if you ask. But I always just try to go back and go, "Yeah."
And my thing too, though, is in my experience, most cap tube restrictions can be cleared out with nitrogen, and you don't have to actually replace the cap tube. I don't know how y'all do it. But a good friend of mine taught me years ago. It was like, cut the cap tube off at the dryer, crimp the end of the dryer coming out, and then go ahead and blow through the suction side as much pressure as you can get through it. And I've had cap tubes that were plugged, and you get that pressure, back feeding through that cap tube. It blows it out, you reconnect it, and you're good to go. So most cap tubes won't even have to be replaced.
Yeah. So Mike Gardner, he said, in your guys' expert opinion, why would a company be adamant about we do not do hot side? Anybody else want to take this?
Maybe they feel there's some sort of liability.
A lot of people don't like the grease. Believe it or not, they don't want the heat. They don't want a lot of times you're in cramped spaces, stuck behind a unit, while the customer's still trying to use on it. There's a lot of reasons for it. I think it depends on the market where you're at too. One thing I noticed was, I think in Florida, I don't see it as much here, but yeah, that was one of those things that like every handyman thought he could fix the grill. Not every handyman tried to fix the walk-in cooler. So, a lot of times it may not even be worth it for the company. They're like, we could pull out X amount of calls on refrigeration and HVAC that nobody wants to touch. Why are we going to sit there and try to fight the guy that'll do it for $50 and a pack of Corona?
Yeah, you used to be able to get away with that. Not anymore. The way some of stuff's getting, it's getting pretty.
The way stuff's getting, yeah.
So
for Jason, because I know he did McDonald's and the ABS, like the 1.0s where you've got all the boards underneath. Have you ever, and I only speak from experience, have you ever had a container of tea dumped down your back?
Tea, no, but I've had Powerade explode in my face and completely stain practically stained my skin, my clothes. No one's poured any tea down my back, but I've changed out carbonator hoses on the unit in the back and not realizing it was under pressure. I've done a lot of self-inflicted harm without anybody else's help when I was working a lot of that beverage stuff.
I'm sure
is that the worst you've experienced, Jason? You would say?
Beverage wise,
I want to know everybody that's on the chat right now or on the stream right now. I want to know everybody's worst experience of something either blowing up in their face or getting spilt on their back or their tool bag. Let's go around talking about that.
So it was like 2 years ago, and I got the video to prove it. I would never share this, the video itself, because I was working on a Pitco, and for some reason in the back of this fryer, there was some sort of screw in the back, and they were like, "Hey, it's leaking." So I'm just picking around trying to. I had my flashlight, but it was the video going. So I'm like, kind of digging around this screw in the back of the fryer.
The Allen screw in the back.
Yeah, there's a freaking screw in the back, and I guess it worked its way out because of the it was dumb. It was a dumb thing, and it just shot out onto my arm, and you could probably still see some of the dark marks here. But that video is such a reminder, because I let out a very indignant yelp in this restaurant, and I was just like, no dignity about it. And I got that video. It's a reminder to that I wasn't practicing what I was supposed to be practicing. I didn't follow some steps. I was rushing, and it bit me. And it was a learning experience. I'll have to share you guys on the side. Share that video with you. I haven't found the good music to make it entertaining other than.
I don't think it needs any music. Just post it.
What's that song? I hurt myself today.
Yeah, Johnny Cash.
Cash. Yeah, I hurt myself today.
We've all done it. So my worst one that was inflicted on me that I didn't do it. I was at a McDonald's dinner rush, and I was tucked up underneath in front of an H50 fryer, the TriMaster high efficiency. And I was working on it, trying to get it going. It was like towards the end of the day. I'm doing my best to get this fryer going for me. And girl's cooking fries. She's a young girl. I mean, I don't even think she was 18. She cooks fries, and she takes a basket. She doesn't shake it off. She just grabs it, pulls out a fryer, and pulls it over. Across top of my head, my entire top of my head was all just blisters. And I called her everything but a white girl, and I felt so bad.
My worst one would probably have to be I was changing down the bottom of the when I was at Coke. I wish I'd had a video of this. Luckily, I had a change. I know you guys talked a couple podcasts ago or a couple live streams ago about keeping extra clothes. This time, I was glad I had an extra change of clothes. I was laying on the floor, changing out a quick connect on the Coke bulk tanks, which I know Jason knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the big bulbs.
The quick connects. They have a quick connect on the bottom. I think they're like either an inch or inch and a quarter. But anyways, one of those that went bad. You never get all the Coke syrup out of the bottom of the tank. There's going to be a little bit there, so you're going to get a little bit when you change those quick connects out. They have a vent line which depressurizes the tank, and then the pressure line which will pressurize the tank. Well, I had the vent line on and was just about getting ready to back that quick connect out. The other one was laying right beside of me so that I could take the old one off, put the new one on, boom, 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 and you got minimal spill. Well, one of the Yahoos decided that he needed to change the line over. So he took the purge line or the vent line off the top and stuck the pressurized line, which I think it had 65 or 70, maybe a little bit more PSI of CO2 behind it. Just as I was getting that quick connect off, I was covered from my face to my knees in Coke syrup.
Diabetes.
Yeah. I told my wife, I said, I think there's a reason I'm type 2 diabetic now was because of that. But dude, I was covered. I went from a white guy to a brown guy in a split second. I won't say what I called the guy, but I got it done. I got up. I said, I'll be back. Don't touch anything. And I just walked out to the van and sat there for like 20 minutes until I got myself calm and collected, changed my clothes, went back in and took care of it. But man, it was nasty. And my tools, God, them things were sticky for like 2 months. And I could wipe them and wipe them. It was just not a fun experience anyways.
You got to dip them in the fryer before you change the oil out, so that'll clean them.
Dude,
That'll grease them. Good to go.
I got a guy on YouTube blowing me up because they know that screwdriver. He's calling me idiot and everything else, dude. Like, there's a million things going on. It's not a big deal. He's like, I can't believe you complimented ass leaving that screwdriver. Whatever, dude. Thank you for feedback. Help. Quentin, you done anything crazy?
I think the worst thing I can think of is back in 2006, I worked for Heritage for a little while. And they sent me to Richmond, which is 150 miles away, to a Domino's to work on a mop sink faucet. Yeah, I drove 150 miles for that. And I had to change the mop sink faucet out. And it was in the back of the Domino's store, back in the corner, had a little basin on the floor. And I had a whole assembly in a truck, had the whole thing, could change it all out. And that's what they wanted done. I looked everywhere in this damn store, out front, looked for the fucking water meter. There was no cutoff anywhere, nowhere. Got up looked through the ceiling behind the wall looking like, where's these pipes go? Where's the shut off? Where's the meter? Where's something? Nothing. So I put a garbage bag on and took the unions loose and pulled that bitch off and stuck a new one on. And them shoes I had are probably still wet today.
You guys do any Avtech hoods? You know what I'm talking about, the quick connects on those? It's supposed to be the dry lock quick connect, so it's a special quick connect sourced by Avtech, and it's part of the hood system, and it's got a dry lock, so you pop it off and it seals off on both ends. Well, the problem is they never seal. So I was at a hospital, it was like a year old. I'm like, oh, this thing's gonna seal, no big deal. It's a 1-inch water line. I popped it off and it didn't seal, dude. And I'm laying on the ground, and it's just spraying me right in the face. I'm flooding this hospital out, dude. I was about to cry. I had to go find out which panel it was in. Of course, I chose the wrong 2 panels first. I'm taking out 4 screws to get to the shut off. There's no shut off in either one of those panels, and it's just a mess. So, Rich, you done anything embarrassing or had any crazy?
Let's have Jesus go first, and then I might be able to think of something.
I just unmuted him. Go ahead, Jesus.
Sorry about that. It's the kids are going crazy out there. What you call it? Before I answer that question, real quick, the gentleman was talking about R290 chart for capillary tubes. There is a site that helps you with that to measure all type of capillary tubes, especially for R600, 290, 32, whatever type of flammable refrigerant. It's in greatmart.cl, and it's pretty much everything there. Everything that you could deal with small compressors.
Cool.
But anyway, let me tell you about my time. When I first started in 2009, I was about to go to a party. So I was shaved up, looking really nice and everything,
That's a good story.
ready to go to a party. They call me for an emergency. They say, Jesus, we need you to go to get this oven up and running. I'm like, okay, let's go over there. Go to work on the oven. It was all of the double burners. And the funny thing about those bastards was that one got to ignite first, then the other one ignite. And once the flame sense it, they stay. Okay. The bad thing about it is that if they don't spark up at the proper time, they will have a hell of a delay ignition, and the flame will come out. So I always wear a hat, and luckily I just happened to go like this. And I'm like, okay, let me look at this thing right here. Let me turn it on. I see nothing coming on. Turn it on real quick. I turn my head for whatever reason, and I say, hold on, I think I missed something. Let me turn it back on. And I look, and I keep looking, and I saw the one spark, and I saw the other one just ignite. Woo! Like literally, if it wasn't for the hat, I would have been completely burned up. So the lady and the guy was screaming like, "Oh my God, your hands on fire! Your hands on fire!" I said, "No, I got my hat, but my hat was literally on fire. My thing was burning." This is why I always wear a hat everywhere you see me, no matter what. I'm always gonna wear a hat, especially if you're a hot side guy. Please wear a hat, man. I don't wear gloves because I haven't had that much of experience with gloves, but I did with a hat. And thank the hat, I still got all my hair.
There you go.
Yeah, delayed ignition's always fun no matter what, man.
Dude, the lady was screaming. You're on fire.
You told me a better story than that with Xavier, but I'll save that.
Oh
for
my
another
God!
time.
Listen, I got thousands of stories when it comes to hot side. Hot side, like you gotta. How can I say? That guy asked about companies not wanting to do hot side. They are a liability if you're not properly trained. You're talking about dealing with gas, especially here in Florida. I never saw gas distribution as horrible as Florida when they have 2 pounds of 2 psi of gas in a 3/4 inch line. Like, these people's crazy.
Rich was dealing with that the other day, right, Rich?
Oh yeah.
Crazy,
On a
bro.
pizza oven, they couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. I'm like, yeah, I got 54 inches of water column.
Why is our flame forge off the burner?
If y'all paid attention to my video, whenever that burner lit, it sounded like a car was burning out.
I tell my new guys, man, like they're like, I put them out on fryers, mobile fryers. I'm like, oh, the pilot won't stay lit. I'm like, does it sound like a blowtorch? Well, yeah. I'm like, check gas pressure before you do anything else.
Yeah, over here they are nuts about that. I don't know why they want to do that, but I had an issue with Tico one time where I had to ask them, listen, you have to reduce this gas pressure. Keep it's natural gas, keep it at 11-inch water column. That's good enough for this whole building and for the whole line, as long as the manifold is big enough. And the manifold was 3-inch pipe, so it's like it was more than enough to withstand all the equipment they had in the kitchen. But down in Florida, they love that 2-inch, that 2 psi. Oh my God.
Oh, it's bad here too. I've got a store. It's Maggiano's. It's on a 10-pound system. 10 pounds. I like I was installing a tilt skillet, and I was there working and I was doing a pre-site survey and there was another service company there to take care of stuff. He goes, "Did you check gas pressure yet?" And I said, "No." He said, "Don't check it with water." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Just check it, dude. It was a 10-pound system." I was like, "Dude, I've never seen a 10-pound system." He just started laughing. He
Holy
goes,
crap.
He's like, "That's why you're replacing that skillet." He's like, "There's no regulator on there." And the skillet was warped. It was a Cleve. I don't know how it ran. It didn't lock it up or nothing, man. It was warped and beat the heck. So we got Ray Bartolomucci in the house. So real ones work on hot side. Words of wisdom.
What's up, Ray?
Wear a hat. Ray's
What's up, Ray?
Ray's the man. That's the man right there.
love Ray, man. Ray and his brother are doing some great things for the industry. I look forward to see what they got coming on in the future. But Root Bears is going to make some waves. So, Rich, you gonna spill the beans? He's like I've done bad. No,
I mean,
I'm good.
Shoot, I guess I got two that I think were probably that I won't ever forget. One, I'm gonna play off of Jesus with the gas thing. So I was working on this grill. I think it was a South Bend, and it was like not heating properly, whatever. And I had never worked on it before, and I basically determined that on one of the burners, the gas wasn't coming through the valve. So I see, like a plate that looks like a flat screw, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, this must be like where, say, like on a fryer valve, how you can adjust the pilot. I'm like, I'm sure if I open that up, maybe there's something I can do. Now, check this out. So I think I'm like the second or third tech to come out and work on this grill, and one of the guys there is like, oh, dude, you really look like you know what you're doing. I feel good now. So I'm just opening this thing up. Dude, next thing I know, a flame this big shoots out right in front of my face, bro. But here's the thing. So I always tell people, I'm like, yo, you can mess up royally if you stay calm. So I got this big flame. I get up to turn off the gas, and I look at the guy and I say, yep, we got gas there.
For the save.
No,
and the look on his face, he went looking from scared to, oh, you got this. And I was like, I almost burned your place down, bro. I almost lost the hair on my face and everything.
Yo, fake though. That's called faking the funk right there, man.
Bro,
oh,
but
man.
No, they bought
Well
it. That's why I
played.
tell people, I'm like, yo, you can mess up anything. You could be in over your head. Stay calm and talk like you know what's going on. And that's all I did. I'm like, yep, we got gas there. And I went behind and turned off the valve. And I'm like, holy crap.
He shuts the gas off and goes to the restroom and cleans his pants out.
But I would say too, the other thing, and this wasn't that long ago. I don't know if I should say this with the boss in the chat there, but I got some frostbite, some 404 frostbite, and I was changing a pressure switch on a walk-in, and I was being lazy. I didn't want to have to bring certain equipment up on the roof and whatever. And I said,
Doing a little hot.
I know I'm fast enough to take that one off and put this one on before this becomes a problem. Long story short, I was not fast enough.
You gotta pump it down to like 5 psi. It's not enough to put a lot of pressure on there.
No, this one was on the high side. I think it was either high pressure switch or the fan control. I can't remember. And I'm like, I'm fast enough. But long story short, I was not fast enough, and 3 weeks of blisters on my fingers proved I was not as fast as I thought I was.
Yeah, that's something you got to watch out for, Quentin. Coming over to the hot side is coming over from the hot side to the cold side is those refrigeration burns are gnarly, man.
Yeah, I've been cognizant of that. I'm real careful to like grab by the side, and I need to get some of those gloves. I don't have those yet.
Oh God, look what your boss.
You're in trouble now.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you one. I'm gonna tell you one because that literally happened to me. I just got my EPA. I was in Florida. I moved from New York. I got my EPA, and I'm feeling great about myself. Oh, here I go. I'm gonna learn my next level in the refrigeration. And the EPA said never allow gas to hit the atmosphere. No problem. So I was working for day and night at that time, and I was working on the unit, on the refrigeration unit, on the rooftop by myself for the first time. And one of my hoses was damaged. So as I'm opening the king valve and the other and then the discharge valve, I'm opening them up to start testing pressure. the hose just popped. Pop. It started. So I went and tried to cover it with my thumb. Like literally tried to cover it with my thumb. I have my whole head freezing. I'm like this. So I call my boss and I'm like, listen, I just got like really hurt, man. This is what happened. And he's like, dude, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, man. You know, I don't want to lose my EPA. I don't want to get in trouble. All the gas up in the air. And he's like, dude, F the gas. Your head. I'm like, I'm gonna get my head. So I know what that feels like. That is the most horrible experience ever. And you know what? Screw EPA when it comes to danger zone. You have to let it go, man.
Bro, I'd rather be burnt by hot oil than by Freon, bro.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
I'd rather be burned by hot oil. I mean, I'd rather not be burned at all, Gary. I would rather not be burned at all.
Yeah, he's never to sleep tonight.
By the book, sir.
Yes.
Oh man, that's great. So, anything else you guys want to talk about? We can tell.
Guys, I'm gonna bounce because I gotta get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I was gonna get ready to end it.
Love you guys. Jesus, nice to meet you, Brian. Finally, Quentin, it's a pleasure. Rich,
We're
you
definitely
guys
gonna
are
do,
awesome.
we're definitely gonna do this again. This was a blast.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
this
fun.
is
I like
fun.
this.
I think you have up to 10 in here, is what I understand, depending on your.
Biggest one, so I'm done.
Oh yeah. Oh man, we can blow this up round robin.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead.
Maybe we can get Gary on. We'll get his perspective as a
If you get to
leadership.
sleep tonight.
Yeah, he'll sleep
Minus
tonight.
minus the grunt talk. We got to keep the grunt talk away from the leadership. You know.
Let's go ahead and call tonight. I just want to thank everybody for coming on. Quentin,
Yeah.
Jesus,
Thanks for the
Crockinator,
support.
Rich.
Yes.
It's been a blast. I appreciate everyone's support. This is actually going to be episode 50. I made a concerted effort this year to do one every week, and it's going to keep going that way. We're going to start mixing in some little shorter stuff. We got some stuff coming up with Case on, some other stuff. So we're going to try to do some little highlight stuff, little shorter episodes, maybe Monday, Tuesday-ish, then and drop out there. So, but I really appreciate everyone tuning in. If you guys want to, Gary said he loves to come on, so we're going to have to get him on here. So. Jesus, Crockinator, Quentin, if you guys want to plug who you work for, your social media, all that stuff, we're here to promote the trade, the industry. Some of us work for a company, somebody works for their own. It's nothing about that. We're an industry. We're trying to grow this industry. We're trying to be better as an industry. So go ahead and Jesus, you want to plug your stuff there, buddy?
Yep. I'm an employee for Innovative Technical Service One right here this side.
Just an employee.
I'm an employee tonight for Innovative Technical Science. I do high side and cold side. We deal with everything with license, a mechanical license and CAC license right now. They're still fighting for everything else I want to get into, but we cover pretty much part of Central Florida. We don't do Tampa that much now because I don't want to compete with my boy over there. My boy's the man. He's the man out there, man. Get him. But we do from Lakeland all the way down to Daytona, Palm Bay, Cape Coral, and a few other ones down that way.
Sweet. Thanks, Jesus. Ryan?
MS Next Tech. I mainly hang out on Instagram, a little bit on TikTok, but I don't post much there. I'm 304_HVACR_. Little channel, it's growing. I think I'm up to 750 followers right now. So thank you guys, Pat, Jason, and Rich. You guys really inspire me. You have with your work ethic make me want to be a better technician and do things the right way. And I just keep plugging along, guys. You guys are doing outstanding things. I can't wait to watch you guys get even bigger than what you are right now.
Appreciate it,
that,
bro. Man, that's what we're all about. Quentin?
My turn. So, man, this reverse stuff in the camera is rough.
It's not reverse for us. We can see it just fine, bro.
I know. So, yeah, Old Dominion Services, and we do hot and now cold. within about 100-ish mile radius of Roanoke, Virginia. So if there's any factories out there that need a sub agent or service agent, give me a call.
Sweet, sweet. And everyone knows Rich and Jason. If not, you guys want to go ahead and give your spiel real quick? We got some new names in here. So
Jason
I mean-
Latimer Facilities, JasonLatimer.tech. You guys know me. Thank you.
Yep. Rich and Kitchens, unless it's on LinkedIn, then it's just Rich Ortega. Check me out. Gonna be doing a lot of different stuff I got planned, and I'm hoping to do to kind of push more of the personal and professional development side of stuff. So yeah, if y'all want to follow me on YouTube, I appreciate that for sure.
all right. Well, thanks guys, and I hope everyone has a good night.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
Yeah.
y'all.
If you guys would, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the podcast. It really helps us grow and helps us know which direction to move in. Also, if you have any suggestions for guests, please email me at commercialkitchenchronicles@gmail.com. Or if you want to be a guest, email me. Love to have you guys on. Thanks a lot. See you next week.